And you're live.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the show. My name is Ilona Ciunaite, and the show is called Liberation Unleashed. This is all about liberation from the idea that you are a separate self, or that there is a separate self. So welcome to the show. And in this hour and a half or so, I'll be talking a little bit, and I hope that there will be some questions so we can look at the live questions and work with them together. And for the beginning, I'm going to talk a little bit about movies. Let me just check some things here. The technical stuff. Just want to get this all right before getting into this. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about movies. Well, movies are entertaining, right? So we do like watching movies, games, and anything that kind of stuff. And when you're watching a good movie, one thing that is really a confirmation of a good movie is that you are getting drawn into it. Like you can feel the emotions, you can see how your reactions arise, and sometimes after a good movie, even for a few days, you will still think about it. So it does affect us emotionally, and we like watching movies and get drawn into them. But at any point during a movie, do you think somehow that you are the author of it, that you are directing it, that it's going as you want it to go? Well, the obvious answer is no. We are watching the movie that is on the screen, that is being shown. This is not something I am making happen, but I am enjoying what is being shown to me. Normal thing. But let's transfer this metaphor into this 360-degree movie that involves all the sounds and colors and sensations and taste and smell. Well, it's a good movie, and every day is a new episode. But at any point, do you think that you are the author of this? Are you directing this? Are you making the lights, the sounds, the sensations happen? Or is it something, again, it's being shown? And yes, there are emotions involved, there are judgments involved, there's a whole thing involved. It's a huge involvement. Now let's see what happens if I think that I am making this movie, if I am creating this movie. Well, when things go right, then of course, I am a great creator. I am a great manifester. I made this happen and that happened. Look at me, great. But if things go wrong, or when the things go wrong, what happens then? Well, there is suffering. There is frustration, stress that the movie is not going how I want it to go. There are regrets, shame, guilt, and all these kinds of emotions about not being able to make this movie the way I want. So we can't say that I only run the good parts, but I don't run the bad parts. The bad parts are happening to me. What if none of this is your creation? What if all of this is something being shown? And here we are, living this movie, living this alive, vivid, rich experience that is being shown. What about that? So seeing that, there's a relaxation that, oh my God, I thought I was the author of this movie, but here I am. I am here to enjoy it. I'm enjoying what is given, what is shown. So I don't need to worry about mistakes that are being made or negative so-called emotions that are being experienced. This is none of my doing. This is something I'm experiencing as this movie is being shown. So what does it take to see that this is coming, this is given, it's not something that I am making? What does it take? Well, there is this question. Is there you running the show? Or is the show appearing by itself? And to see this, we can investigate a little bit here. Right, there are colors. Obviously here. You open your eyes, the world appears. Everything is here. Everything that you left the night before is still here. Are you doing anything to manipulate or control or manage these colors? Or they are just simply appearing as they are, just are. Is there any manipulation or any management of the colors that you want? Let's say I don't like this color. Can I make it into a different? Well, no, this is what is being shown. Right? And how about sounds? Are the sounds something I am making happen? Or are they here noticed as they are? So let's see. If you listen to the sounds, just listen, open, not knowing. Can you make some sounds louder or quieter? Is there any way to skip some sounds that you don't like and just hear the pleasant sounds that you like? Well, have a look for yourself. Are you the sound manager? Or you are hearing them, witnessing them? Okay, well, if that's clear, we can move to sensations like touch. Touch. There's something there being experienced. And are you making these sensations happen, or are they seen as they are? If they are seen as they are you the author of them? Are you the director? Or you are noticing what is already here? It's a sensation, your right elbow. Okay. So are you going there what this right elbow supposedly is and making that sensation happen? Or is it something very simple, just noticing there? Just bringing that into attention, into awareness. Well, sensations arise in attention as attention is going there. They seem to arise. But at no point I say that I am creating these sensations, or I am creating the smells or taste. Or when I put something in the mouth, I feel what is already there. So this movie is full immersion, 360 degree, 5 senses alive movie that is going on, and it starts every day in the morning. There is a new movie, new episode in a day, and it's all given. And does the day go how you want it to go, or it goes independently of how I want it to go? I mean, some things happen I liked. Things happen I don't like. Do I create these things that I don't like? Or it's something being shown, being reflected? Well, and one way to know that the movie is good is that you feel emotions. You get drawn into it. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling emotion. Right, so there is this show going on. There is nobody running the show. Simply arising, simply happening. So there is no need to fight it, no need to try. Rather than trying, we can watch it, enjoy it, and know that when challenges arise, when heavy stuff arises, it will pass. There's nothing permanent. Neither is the happy times. Happy times are also impermanent. And you know how in a good movie you can appreciate the villains, and you can appreciate the hardships and challenges, and all this tension that arises there, just so to watch the character to overcome them and enjoy the happy ending normally. So are these challenges. They are given to strengthen the character, to bring up stuff to be seen. So are you enjoying your movie? I mean, the movie about you, about this character. Or are you still fighting it? And if you are fighting it, what for? Do you think that by fighting it, you're going to change what is appearing? Or that you are going to gain something from it? Or is it something also that is being shown? And even these emotions that come up, and judgments, and wishes, and all the shoulds and shouldn'ts, they are being shown. So can this movie run free? Or is it asking for your management? And then a good question to ask is, what is not happening on automatic? What is not simply happening by itself, naturally? What is that requires the character to do? Well, very common answer is the decisions. Like, to make a decision, there must be someone here to make a decision. Because how can it be that there's nobody here to make a decision? But in every situation, there is an outcome. There is one thing that feels right. And that's the outcome. So it's really not a decision. It's noticing what is right and moving with that. And even in the movie, the guy or girl comes to the coffee place and they're looking at the menu and thinking, shall I have a pizza or shall I have a ice cream? And they choose. So there's a choice in the movie. Yeah, it appears as choice and as a decision. But the question here is the authorship or ownership of that decision. What is there that comes up and says, well, I made a decision. This is me, my decision. The funny thing is, if I choose a pizza or if I choose ice cream, I will say, I chose this. It doesn't matter what the choice was made. The I comes and claims it. So it seems that there is somebody here to claim it. And it's part of the movie, something that is showing up as well. So where's the liberation then? The character is not waking up. The character doesn't become free from the movie. But seeing that you are not the character in the movie, that you are not the creator, nor director, nor author, nor actor or actress. You are here, and this is being shown. This is coming to you. This is coming out of nowhere. It's showing up. You can be peace with that. Everything can be met without the fight. Because really fighting what is doesn't serve well. Let's see this. Fighting what is very painful. And to recognize that fight, you can notice in your experience these things that I don't want this. This is not good enough. This is not enough. I want something else. There must be something better. There must be something else. I need to fix the situation. This character sucks. My life is horrible. All this noise, all this noise is in a way of enjoying the movie. So it can be put to rest. We can look at what is the negative emotions. What does it mean? How does it work? What is this negativity about? And you notice that emotions are not positive nor negative in itself. They are just energy that is arising. Okay, let's say the eyes see color, the heart is seeing emotions. Let's say that. So the heart sees sadness, it sees joy, it sees whatever emotions presently here. But what makes that negative is this idea that I don't like this. So this I don't like this, I don't want this, is the only negativity what concerns emotions. Otherwise, all emotions are fine. They're neutral. They come up to be felt. We can feel the sadness openly and deeply and just be completely immersed in that experience. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sadness or anger or despair or any heavy emotion. But as soon as there is this idea that I don't want this, then that emotion becomes unbearable. I cannot take it. This is too much. How to get rid of it? How to fix this? What's wrong with me? It's just like a snowballing effect, But the only negativity is not wanting or not wanting it. So the positive is what I want, and the negative is what I don't want. See how that works? But now let's look at the nature, just the simplest thing. There is a day and a night, right? There is a day, and then in the day there are different processes. There is sun shining, there is activity, there is all that is going on in the day. And then at the night, there are different processes. There is rest, there is dreaming, and all the, processes that are going on at night. So now if we compare the light and happy emotions to the day and the heavy and difficult emotions to the night, what happens here? Like, I only want the day. The night is wrong. The night should not be happening. But there is nothing wrong with the night. It's here as part of the cycle of day and night. So we can't have just positive emotions and think that, well, this is all I want. Because at some point that will turn into the heavier, into deeper, into different emotions. And if there is this idea that this is wrong, there's suffering. But we know that the day and the night will end. It's not permanent. There is cycle. So why not allow it all to be as it is, as it naturally is? So when the heavy emotions arise, when these deep feelings of resistance, fear, regret, guilt, shame arise, they are here to be felt as well. You don't need to fight them at all. You don't need to call them unwanted at all. They can be embraced and respected. And then they pass. And then there is a joy again. Then there is laughter and happiness and feeling connected and feeling awesome. We don't fight that. So let's make this distinction that it doesn't matter if it's a light emotion or heavy emotion. They come to be felt and they come to be allowed to be felt and felt fully. And that is the freedom. Freedom to experience all as it comes up, as it is. And if not the wanting for this to be something else, wanting to be something different, then all is fine, isn't it? And all is absolutely fine. So what do we do with the wanting? Is there something to get rid of as well? Do you want to want? Or do you want not to want? What is going on here? So yeah, wanting also arises. It's also given. It's not something that you choose to want it or not to want it. It's something that is showing up as part of this gift of life, of this movie. But let's look at where is this wanting arises from. How does that work? So the primary, one of the most basic wantings is wanting to feel safe. This is so deeply rooted. And if you notice that wanting to be safe perhaps is something very deep and started in childhood or even like babyhood, you can find that perhaps this wanting to be safe is the driving force that keeps this mind going into the future, trying to protect from the past, that it wouldn't happen, something that already happened before. I don't want this. I want to feel safe, and how to make sure that it's not going to happen. So all this wanting to be safe shows up as thoughts about the future, where situations come up, what if scenarios come up, so that the mind is trying to solve them before this happens in actuality, just in order to keep that sense of safety. But the safety is not found in the future. The safety is not in the future, it's in noticing what is here now. And the simplest thing is to ask yourself, right here, right now, are you safe right now? And if you are safe right now, you can simply see it. It's pretty obvious. It's not hidden. So the safety is found by noticing. It's not found in the future. It's not found about the future. It's found by noticing what is here right now. And noticing that you are safe cancels the need or wanting to control the outcome. You know, like when you are watching a movie and maybe it's a horror movie or a thriller or something like really bad happening on the screen. You still know that you are safe. You are seeing this showing up, but it's not touching you. Things are happening on the screen, but the emotions are happening here, but it's all safe. You know that. So this movie, this 360 full immersion show can also be seen like that. That right here, right now, it's safe. There's nothing dangerous going on. Like just right here, right now. Not thinking about the future, what may happen in the next moment. None of that. Just simply bringing attention to this feeling that I am safe right here, right now. And with that, the wanting for control collapses. And with that, the wanting for security collapses. The only thing is that time to time, or maybe even many times a day, you have to bring that attention that you are safe right now. And this pattern of unsafety, feeling unsafe, can be running so deep and buried so much in unconscious that it keeps making this experience tragically dangerous when it's not. When it's completely safe right here, right now. So by checking it over and over and over and probably over again, we can bring that attention back out of these imagined scenarios, out of the future, into what is here right now. And what is here right now? Again, it's this room or whatever you are, the colors, the sound, sensations, and taste and smell. Like presently here, like feeling your bum on a chair or feet on the floor, or, you know, hands touching something that is actual right here, right now. You don't need to imagine that. You simply notice that. So let's notice that right now. This here now, right this moment. Just simply hearing these words and maybe looking at the screen, looking around your room. There is no danger here. It's completely safe. It's safe to feel what you feel. It's safe to see colors, even bright colors. The bright colors don't damage you. The loud sounds don't damage you. The sharp feelings don't damage you. And neither the intense emotions. As I said, the heart sees them. So it is safe to see the emotion, whatever intensity it shows up. So can you see that right here, right now, you are safe? This movie is going on. These colors are here. Everything is here. And it's completely safe. And if you hear your mind starting to, yeah, but next moment may not be safe, let me ask you this. When was the last time you've been chased by a tiger or some guy with an axe or anything like it? How often does that happen? Really? How often do you really feel the danger? I mean, like venomous snake bite or, I don't know, anything like that? How often does that happen in your experience? Well, yes, there are unsafe places in the world, and there are experiences that, you know, we have to escape or run or fight and things like that. But even then, what you are cannot be damaged by intensity of the events. Now, if we think that I am the character in the movie, I am this little action figure that is very fragile, vulnerable, and it needs to be protected, then of course there is a sense of danger. Well, you know, somebody will think something about me that I don't like. That's dangerous. Well, for the image, you know, the image can get destroyed, the image can get damaged, and I have to protect that. I have to show up as they want me to show up. Otherwise, this image is going to take the hit. But you are not the image. You are not a character. You are not the author of this movie. There is nobody here. So this movie is showing up about the character. And it's so obvious to think about another, like a fictional character. Let's say my classic examples, the Batman. You know, how this Batman is going to save the day and he's fighting all these bad guys. But does Batman create the movie about Batman? Doesn't even make sense, right? Batman is not the director or author of this story about Batman. But somehow this Ilona character may seem that she's in charge of what is happening in the movie. It's a very twisted movie, I tell you what. That was the last thing that was my ticket out of this craziness. It's just checking out if there is Ilona running the show. And guess what? There isn't. The show is going. It doesn't stop. It continues. Things happen. Good things happen. Bad things happen. All these one things happen and emotions happen. But there is no Ilona running the show. So check that out for yourself. Are you running the show? Or you think you are running just these parts, but not these parts? It's like you are on call. You come in and come out when appropriate, or when it's, you know, something I can claim the honors and respect and get a medal, you know, for creating this part of the movie, like director on call. And when the movie goes wrong, then there is this, I didn't do this. This just happened. No, that's an accident. It's coincidence. But I mean, you can't claim some parts of movie that you are making happen and others not. So here is a question. Are you running the show? And if you say yes, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you run the show? It would be very interesting to hear from you, the ones that run the show. How do you do that? Do you like pray, manifest, do affirmations, or read books, or go to satsangs, or what do you do? And how do you know that you are running the show? Or is this just an idea about the character running the show? You know, there are movies like that. where the character knows that he's the character in a movie. It's quite fun. But there is something else going on behind the scenes. An easy example to see this, like a puppet show. Like there is one puppet and another puppet, and then they're talking. This is like a bear and a rabbit, and they're having a conversation. And the rabbit says this, and the bear answers that, and they argue and maybe fight a little. That's going on. So, and it seems fun. And for a moment, you can believe in this fantasy. The bear fighting the rabbit. Why not? But there is something going on there underneath the glove. It's not the glove that is talking. It's not the glove that is moving. There's something that is moving that glove. And you take it off. Now, what is there? There was no bear and the rabbit. It was all imagined. So our character, our persona, when we think that I am the person, it's just that, puppet master, puppet talking to another puppet. Imagining they are real. Imagining that this is what is going on. But look at this. The show about the person. It can be seen that there is no person at all. That this person is only arriving in the narrative about the person. So what to do with that? There's no need to get rid of this narrative. There's no need to try to change the way you think. There is only one tiny little subtle thing, seeing that you are not the author of this, that you are not the director of this, that the show is going on all by itself. When all the conditions, all the forces of life, all the elements come together, something happens. It's none of my doing. It's a happening. Like it's easy to notice that I'm not doing anything in the body, that the body is managing itself just fine. Growing hair, shedding skin, digesting, going to the toilet, growing the cells, running the blood, pumping the heart. All these processes are happening by itself, right? Everything is just fine. Oh, it's running by itself. So let it all run by itself and see if anything changes. If you take that narrative off, what changes? I mean, if you don't believe that narrative anymore, what changes? Like everything goes on as it is. Okay, well, I have a question here. Oh, I love your awesome clarity and beautiful presence. Thank you, Ilona. Thank you, Ida. Thank you. Sweet. And enjoy in myself. There is a question. The organism interacts with the environment. Has some influence not running the show? The organism interacts with the environment, has some influence not running the show. Well, it's not running the show. Well, the show is the whole influencing. I mean, the simplest way to see is that in nature, like everything is just happening in nature. All these patterns, all these things, all these forces come together, something happens. Like everything influences everything else. You can't even say that it influences anything. It's just one big happening. For example, there is a cloud, and then it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. darker and darker and darker, and then it starts raining, right? Does the cloud influence the rain? Well, yes, the whole thing comes together, something happens. All the conditions are in place, something happens. So this organism, yes, it's interacting with the environment in that way that everything comes together and this happens. How would you say the cloud runs the rain? Or rain runs the cloud, or this body runs the environment? It's just one. There is no interacting. There is no interacting. It's one. And in the puppet show, where we think that we are persons, in the show, yes, there is influence, there is conversation going, there is arguing, there is agreeing, there is accepting, rejecting, and all that kind of show going on. But the persons don't move the hand. The gloves don't move the hand. The hand moves the gloves. So in that way, we are not separate from the whole, and we cannot influence the whole. The whole is all there is. There is only the whole, you know. And you can use, if you don't like word whole, you can use word life, aliveness, presence, here now. I like that one, here now. Being, God. Now you would say that, does human influence God? When God is all there is. Does human organism influence aliveness? When aliveness is all there is. Does wave influence the ocean? When it's ocean that is waving. Does that answer your question? So on the absolute level, everything is one. On the relative, we are in this show. And in this show, there is influence, there is control, there is manipulation, there are all kinds of personalities. But you are not that. There is something bigger than that. And how to know this? You just simply ask the question. See, the whole thing with realization is that you cannot take somebody else's understanding or realization and apply it to you. You have to ask the question. You have to look for the answer yourself. You know, and you can be a seeker for 40 years if you like, but until you ask that question, is there I? Is there separate self? Is there a person here? Is it running the show? You will be still thinking that you are that puppet running around trying to find a way to wake up from this movie, like as if that was possible. It's not. Nobody wakes up. There's nobody there to wake up. There's only this beingness that is not asleep, that is always here, always now. And that's it. And can you feel the silence like stillness underneath all words, all concepts, all ideas, all the show, just right here, right now. Just hold on all these waves, these questions, calm down. It's possible to just be. Like you don't need to do anything, to run anything in order to be. It's already here, it's already present. Okay, I'll take another question. When it is noticed that no one is running the show, will it make any difference to the show itself, or will the show go on as before? Well, the show goes on as before. The show goes on as before. What changes is the inner fight with it. You know, like I said, that the movie affects emotions, right? There is a judgment and emotions. So that part is affected deeply because with seeing that the show is running on by itself, what's the point of fighting it? Like you can fight it for fun, but it's not fun. Definitely it's not fun. So the show goes on, the color, sounds, sensations, taste, smells are still here. That is the show. The emotional charge, which comes with, I don't want this should not be happening, that drops away. So the show is smoothly running, well, smoother. Well, obviously, when you see that all these old patterns are coming up and showing up by themselves, it's easier to meet them. It's easier to allow them to be here because all these emotions, they still want to be felt, right? This is part of the show. This is what the show is for, to bring us into this experiencing deeply, like open-heartedly, wholly. So it's not a ticket to happy ever after. The show doesn't go like, okay, and now they lived happier ever after. Shit happens. And things happen. Horrible things happen. But somehow there is okayness in that. That's what opens up. It's the okayness with whatever is being shown, whatever life brings, whatever needs to be recognized or lived. Okay, there is another question from Carmen. Ilona, I think it's not only about asking one time. The hard part is to die for the thing that we imagine that we are. Would you agree? Well, the interesting thing is that it has to be seen freshly, here and now. There's only ever here and now. So there is no, I've seen it once and that's enough. How about now? So you see this now, and now, and now, and now, and many times. It's so funny because really there is no time. There's just eternal present in which all the past and future shows up, right? But the day goes on, and that's in practical sense. You wake up in the morning and here you go, we have this day to live till the evening, and then we go to sleep. And in that time, you know, many things happen. So it seems like there is a continuity. And many situations arise. And in all these situations, you can just look and look and look and look and freshly until the mind at some point realizes that it doesn't need to check it anymore. It's clear. But yeah, it does make sense that it's not enough to ask just once, because when we ask just once, it's already in the past. So this asking, this seeing, this finding, and discovery of wonder can only be freshly here and now. That's the interesting part to it. I don't exactly understand what it means to die for the thing that we imagine that we are. Well, nothing dies. I hope it's poetry, no metaphor. Nothing dies. The character does not die, it continues to show up. You know, if I don't think about Ilona all day long anymore, other people still think, and they still see this character, and they can discuss it and talk about her and like the traits that they like and don't like. And yeah, it shows up as an appearance, but nothing dies there. There's no death involved. Same way, like there is no death involved when you go to sleep and this character is no longer showing up, when it's replaced by the dream character. The dream character doesn't die in the morning, and there is no funeral. There's nobody there that dies. It's just one thing in awareness is replaced by another thing in awareness, and it's just continuous flow of experiencing. So we don't need to think that this character needs to die, or the mind has to shut up and there are no more thoughts and no more emotions. It's nothing like that. Everything goes on as it did, except again for this tiny little subtle thing, seeing that you are not the author of this. There is something else here. Well, we can call it presence. It's just here now, this beingness or awareness, or a simple word, knowing. There's knowing here. Knowing doesn't die. The content of knowing changes, but knowing does not die. And today I will finish this show just in a few minutes. And before I do, I'm going to invite you all to the monthly Deep Looking Zoom event, which is happening at the same time as the show on Sunday. Sunday after this Nothing show, there is a Deep Looking event every month where we can talk, where we can interact, and we can work with the live questions, and it's so much more intimate, and it's not like me talking, you listening. We are looking together, we're working at this, whatever your question is. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Okay, a question from Enjoy. Does the realization affect personal relationships, spouse, family, kids, friends? Sure it does, yes. Yes, it does, in ways that you cannot imagine. Like when there is more peace here, there is an opportunity for others to find that peace in themselves. But it doesn't mean that people change because there's peace here. People will continue running the same programs. It's not that my realization will affect other people's realization, because we can't show that. It's an individual process. So it's when an individual is ready to look for themselves and start questioning this show and the authorship, nobody can tell him that. If you tell them, somebody, that no, you don't have free will, you are just a puppet in a movie, well, it's not going to land well. So it's better not to. But yes, it does affect in a way that there is more openness, more allowance, more authenticity for yourself and also for others to be as they are. So it's again about that fighting what is. You know, I don't like my spouse, I don't like my kids. Well, that can change, you know, in a positive way, where everyone is allowed to be as they are, and then everyone's path is respected, because you see that it's what life is showing to you, and you can see your own reflections there. It's beautiful, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. Okay, well, I thank you everyone for joining and for questions, and I hope to see you on Sunday at the same time, 5 o'clock UK time, at this deep looking event. And you can simply go to my website, ilonaciunaite.com. At the events page, there are details how to join. And for now, I say bye to you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nothing Media, and everyone involved for making this happen. And good luck. Bye now. Thank you.